that day, we wrapped, right? Y'all saw the whole thing. We wrapped. Lights cut off. Production is, packing up. Me, Lauren, and Tanya, we all go upstairs into my bathroom. And Simon and Porsha are downstairs by themselves. I'm talking about at least half an hour. I didn't think anything of it, really. I noticed enough for me to still remember that detail. But I didn't think anything of it because he would say so many times as we're watching these episodes how much she looked like a dog and who could wake up next to that face in the morning without makeup.
Okay, so at this point, the drama between Falynn, Porsha, and Simon is starting to feel less like a failed marriage and more like a never-ending reality show spinoff that refuses to die. Because just when everybody thought Falynn had finally moved on with her life, she came right back swinging with accusations that honestly sound crazier than some actual Housewives storylines. And baby, when I tell you she aired everything out, I mean everything. Falynn is now claiming that Porsha and Simon allegedly started messing around while he was still very much married, and according to her, it supposedly happened the first day they all filmed together. But somehow that's not even the wildest part. Falynn also dropped allegations about secret hookups, threesomes with other men, and even hinted that Simon may have been living a whole double life behind closed doors. And honestly, the internet is eating this up because people have been side-eyeing the timeline between Porsha and Simon ever since they popped out together barely 2 seconds after his divorce announcement. Like, you mean to tell me your friend's husband just happened to become the love of your life overnight? Yeah, people were never buying that story. But according to Falynn, the truth is way messier than we thought. She's claiming there were signs all along, secret conversations happening behind her back, and things going on in that marriage that she stayed quiet about for years. And now that she's finally talking, she is not holding back at all. So, let's get into this tea. Because Falynn just exposed a whole lot more than anybody was expecting, and somehow it keeps getting worse the deeper you dig. Okay, so you'd think that with Falynn being married and all, she would be over her situation with Porsha and Simon, yeah? Well, it turns out that's not the case because she is still salty AF. And now, not only is she spilling some nasty tea, but she's out here claiming that Simon is allegedly on the DL and was supposedly hooking up with men with Porsha, all while he was married to Falynn. And when I tell you that Falynn had a lot, homegirl did not hold back at all. According to her, Porsha and Simon allegedly started hooking up the very first day they filmed together, and the only reason she found out was that they had gone missing for more than half an hour. Take a listen.
Now, that day, we wrapped, right? Y'all saw the whole thing. We wrapped. Lights cut off. Production is, packing up. Me, Lauren, and Tanya, we all go upstairs into my bathroom. And Simon and Porsha are downstairs by themselves. I'm talking about at least half an hour. I didn't think anything of it, really. I noticed enough for me to still remember that detail. But I didn't think anything of it because he would say so many times as we're watching these episodes how much she looked like a dog and who could wake up next to that face in the morning without makeup.
As nasty as it sounds, it's not all that uncommon for men to trash talk a woman they're secretly attracted to, just to hide the fact that they're attracted to the woman. And to make things even worse, Simon told Porsha things that Falynn had said to him in confidence.
So what Simon and I did was we binge watched like the past few seasons or whatever prior to us going on the show when we agreed to do it. So, we were just in our bedroom watching specifically this one episode. She did this move where she jiggled all that body fat that she has, whipping the eggs. And when she did that, I did exactly what y'all did. I cried laughing because I'm like, oh my God, look at all her body fat shaking and jiggling like that. And so I thought it was hilarious. And Simon and I both thought it was so funny. I didn't think much of it, So we're upstairs and I'm waiting on her to come upstairs as we're all talking. All the girls were talking about the episode, how much fun it is, how big my house is, how much they love, everything, all the setup and everything, and yada yada. 30 minutes about there passes, and Porsha finally joins us in my bathroom. And out of nowhere, she does the jiggle fat move. Out of nowhere.
What it look like?
Now, this is not the first time that Falynn has called Simon and Porsha out for their BS, because homegirl has not been quiet about that. For those who probably don't remember how things went down, Porsha and Simon first met while Simon was still married to Falynn, who was friends with Porsha at the time. Falynn first joined the show in 2020 as a friend. And according to reports at the time, Falynn is known around Atlanta as a socialite, and her husband, Simon Goubadia, is paid, like Bentleys and private jets paid. As for how she fits into the group, well, right now, she's friends with Porsha and Shamia. The rest of the ladies seem to like her, and she might accompany the girls on their upcoming trip to the Carolinas. Falynn claimed that Simon was actually the one who pushed her to join the show, saying it would somehow help her spiritual well-being or bring her peace or whatever. Which already sounded kind of questionable because when you think of spiritual healing, Real Housewives is probably the last place your mind goes. That whole franchise is known for nonstop drama, chaos, and toxic behavior. So what exactly was Simon talking about? It definitely makes you wonder if he had his own reasons for wanting her on there. Maybe he wanted a little fame for himself too, because one thing he definitely wasn't lacking was money. Anyway, Simon and Porsha started getting really close during the show, even though Porsha kept saying she was still healing from all the drama with Dennis. But things started looking real suspicious when Falynn and Simon quietly ended their marriage barely a month after that season of Real Housewives of Atlanta premiered. Simon officially filed for divorce on January 15, 2021, hitting Falynn with the classic celebrity excuse of irreconcilable differences. But then, not even a full week later, he suddenly changed his mind and started talking about how they were going to work things out and give the marriage another chance. Clearly, that reconciliation didn't last long, because about a week later, he filed for divorce again, basically saying nothing had changed and the marriage was still done for. Simon released a statement on Instagram to confirm that they were no longer together, saying, "After a year and a half together, Falynn and I have made the mutual decision to end our marriage. Despite our willingness to be transparent, we respectfully ask for privacy at this time." Now, according to Porsha's version of the story, she didn't make a move on Simon until he and Falynn had split up. According to her, she only reached out to Simon when she heard about his divorce from Falynn because she wanted to make sure that he was okay. According to her, she had heard rumors that Falynn had cheated, and that's supposedly what made her reach out in the first place. Before people could even fully process the breakup, Porsha was already showing off her new relationship online, proudly introducing Simon to the world like we didn't know that he used to be her friend's man. She wrote, "Our relationship began a month ago. Yes, we are crazy in love. I know it's fast, but we are living life each day to its fullest. For all of you that need facts, I get the optics." But Simon filed for divorce from a previous marriage in January. I had nothing to do with their divorce filing. That's between the two of them. Falynn and I are not friends, and Simon's divorce has been settled. Our relationship is a positive, loving step forward in everybody's lives. Well, Falynn decided to make things even messier when she claimed that Simon had told her while they were married, and that Porsha had slept with one of his cousins for a Rolls Royce. She said, "He told me she slept with his cousin for the Rolls Royce she has. So I just don't understand. How is it that you..." I'm not gonna say leave a happy home, because like I said, we had our things. But how is it you file for divorce from me for a woman you used to talk so much mess about, and for someone who slept with someone from your family members? That was a hot mess, but things died down for a bit. Falynn got back together with her ex, got married, and we all thought that the drama was over for good, and everyone had moved on. But Falynn is back to spill the tea, and she did not stop at claiming that Porsha and Simon hooked up on the first day. Well, she went on to claim that Simon and Porsha allegedly continued hooking up behind her back. And get this, not only were they supposedly doing the nasty together, but they also had three-ways with other men, if you know what I mean. Y'all remember when Porsha claimed that Simon had an ED and couldn't get it up in the bedroom? Well, from what Falynn is claiming, that probably had something to do with Simon being on the DL and being attracted to men. At the time, Porsha wrote ED. She went on to share a screenshot about ED that said, "How does a man feel when he has ED? It is common for men with ED to feel anger, frustration, sadness, or lack of confidence. However, the condition can be treated. Anxiety and stress are common emotional responses, but one qualitative study found that actually the most commercial reaction was a sense of emasculation #men's health awareness." She then wrote, "Things you can do to help with erectile dysfunction. 1. Lose weight if you're overweight. 2. Stop smoking. 3. Eat a healthy diet. 4. Exercise daily. 5. Try to reduce stress and anxiety." Simon clapped back with, "If I didn't allow witches in my life, my angel would not have to work so hard." He also wrote, "The narrative changed from imminent deportation and fleeing the country to Dubai to broke and selling luxury cars. Waiting for next narrative. The next narrative has arrived. ED #wife for the streets." So it looks like the signs have been there right in front of our eyes for the longest time, but we somehow didn't figure it out. But Falynn spilling all this tea when she's married and has supposedly moved on is something, and not in a good way. This whole situation just keeps getting messier by the day because every time we think the drama is over, somebody comes back with even more tea.